everybody.
I'm Nisha,
And I'm Nisi.
and we're sisters with Ish to say.
And yes, we're real sisters.
Now let's get into it.
So, a couple weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
it was a 12-year-old boy that was killed here in Chicago. And when they released the story, it said that, he was shot, and it said that the family confirmed that the mother was the person that shot the little boy. But they didn't have any information on it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can just see the picture that they put up of the little boy.
And then, the thing is, the picture was of him, he was kind of frowning in the picture. He didn't look happy in the picture.
Yeah.
And then the next day, they released what happened with everything. And his mom killed him because she couldn't find her memory card.
Yeah.
Yeah, she couldn't find her memory card. So she asked him where it was. He couldn't come up with he didn't know. I guess he didn't have it because he didn't know. I mean, obviously, if somebody has a gun to you, even if you did take it, you gonna come up with okay, the memory card right here. But he didn't. He just kept telling her he didn't know, and so she shot him. And then she asked him again, and then I guess she was on the phone, and they said that they could hear the little boy crying and saying that he didn't know, and then she shot him the second time, and that's when. So the report said that the other person that was on the phone. So I don't know if it was a family member on the phone, because the story did say that the family members confirmed that the mother was the shooter.
Yeah. I saw that.
So she shot him the second time, and that's I guess that was the fatal shot. But my thing is, obviously there's something some type of mental health issue there.
Yeah, it gotta be.
Right.
Especially over a memory card.
Over a memory card. And then after they came out with the more details as to what happened, then they released a picture of the little boy looking like a little boy. That was something that I kind of had an issue with, because before he just looked angry.
Yeah.
And he kind of just looked like he could have been a bad kid. And people were actually, in a way, blaming him for,
being murdered.
Okay.
So I was confused as to why they chose that picture, because a lot of times the media has a way of spinning things to make things look a certain way, and then we hadn't heard the story, so we're what I saw was a lot of people were kind of saying, well, did something happen? Did he do something? Maybe did he attack her in some type of way? It just kind of had room for doubt in there.
Yeah.
But that story was so sad. It was ridiculous. But it's a lot of questions. Now, first of all, before we even get into anything, regardless to what's going on, even if a kid stole something, how do you kill your kid?
Yeah.
And I feel like there is a mental issue there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that absolutely don't excuse a thing. But at the same time, we got to sit down and figure out if people in your family have mental issues.
Mm-hmm.
At what point does somebody need to step in and say, hey, maybe this person, you get what I'm saying? Maybe this person isn't, because it's like a lot of people are scared to intervene into family issues and say, maybe you're not fit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot of these stories popping up.
Yeah.
At what point are we not crossing the line in being nosy? And at what point are we getting to a point where it's like we're just trying to save the kids within our communities and within our families?
So I don't think that is anything new. Mental illness has always been taboo.
Yes.
Epilepsy. people back in the day be like, oh, you gotta watch her 'cause she be having fits. And it's like now we have more information. It's like she was sick, like she wasn't having a fit, like she was sick.
Yeah.
And like everyone just kind of just be like, I got my own household I need to take care of. But at some point, like families need to I think like there's like that breakdown in family where you kind of like everyone has their own household. But at the end of the day, it's everyone is still family. Yes. Like you're my sister. Like I would fight a bear and look for his mama about you. But if you had something going on and you were mistreating my nieces and my nephews, like I'm going to intervene. You might get mad at me, right. We might get into it, but those are my nieces and nephews, and I'm pretty sure it's the same way on my end. Like if I was doing something to my kids, like you would say something, it wouldn't be like, well, I got my own household, it's not my business. It is your business, because that child could have been here if someone would have intervened. Like this couldn't have been a first like mental breakdown issue that she had.
Because mental breakdowns don't start with let me go kill my child. That's usually not the first sign of a mental breakdown. Not that I'm anybody's licensed therapist or anything, but we've all dealt with issues before. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that I have never seen that be a sign. However, children are defenseless. Mm-hmm. So even though you have a responsibility to your family member, sister, brother, cousin, auntie, whatever, what about those kids? Those kids are defenseless. And I do know with the way the world is set up today, it's like everybody is afraid of losing their rights. But somebody has to step up for children. And if you don't want the state to step up, the family need to step up, because there's a lot of things that happen with schools and all that. They get into your business, like you cannot punish your kids, you cannot whip your kids and all of that. And I get all, okay, we all were raised the way we were raised. Mm-hmm. I know I got whoopings, okay, whatever. And it is what it is. I don't classify that as abuse, getting a whooping. Mm-hmm. However, in some states and some places and counties or whatnot, that's considered abuse. And it's up to somebody else's opinion as to what that is. So how do you differentiate between saying, with it being your opinion, and it just being, this is a fact, this is absolutely abuse? Mm-hmm. How and when do you step in at that point?
Well, just basically, I mean, I kind of think that it's kind of black and white, honestly. Yeah. Now, somebody get a whooping in front of you, you kind of just gotta mind your own business. Like you just gotta just mind your own business at that point if it's valid. Now, if you just come in and just whooping, then be like, okay, now what are you getting the whooping for? Like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. But like, if they're doing something and it's valid, then they're getting the whooping. Then you have to mind your own business. But if you have a cousin, a nephew come to your house with a black eye, you need to do some talking. And then it's not so much like, if I see this again, I'm gonna do this, like, because then now it's exposed. They might do more hiding it. You might not see that child until they heal, or the child's gonna start lying. Like, we need to step up more as family, and that's what makes us different from strangers. Yes. And like, if you can't protect your family, if you can't step up to your family, then like, well, what are you doing? Like, all hurt feelings and all that aside, like, somebody might get mad initially, but like, especially if somebody has a mental issue, like she probably now regret what she did, and there's no coming back from what she did. There's no coming back from that. And that baby was 12 years old.
That's so sad.
And it was over a memory card. So like, and then also, it's like, there's no excuse for what was going on. But you don't know what type of pressure people have, or what pressure people are going over. Like, parenting is so hard. Parenting is so hard. Like, what, you love your children. Yes. And you get joys out of things that they do, but there's a lot of sacrifices. There's a lot of like I remember a couple of Fridays ago, I was just like, I don't have anything else to give. I got my kids something to eat, and I was in my room. Like, I just need a break.
You sometimes do, but see, this is the problem right here. When we do all this, we always talking about on social media and all that about breaking generational curses. All of this pettiness about child support. I'm a pick because I saw something about I ain't gonna pick up my kid. I'm babysitting and this and that. Like it's at the end of the day, the kids matter first.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you put all that pressure, because a lot of times people be having kids with people don't really know who they done had these kids with. Let's be real honest. So now you have this child. This person is dealing with the responsibility solely to care for. We're not even talking about the financial aspect because we're gonna take child support out of that because people be complaining about child support. They're not complaining a lot about visitation.
Yeah.
Okay. So look, and I'm not saying everybody, so don't jump up on the page and start attacking. Okay. Yeah. But my thing is that is the main thing. Let's keep the main thing. Because if you leaving this child with this person that maybe you know, maybe you don't so much, or a lot of men, women both assume, oh, that's their mama, they alright. That's their daddy, they alright. Whatever, I got stuff to do, especially when you're young, because you want to do what you want to do. We're not putting the kid first. And what happens is this person is pressured. Maybe they're not getting no type of support at home. Maybe the financial burden is wearing them out. Maybe just the everyday. Maybe the kid is a little bad. Maybe they're not getting proper sleep. And they trying to work or whatever it is, you don't know. But this is why it's always important for a parent to get that break, that time where it's like, okay, look, I need time. I need something to myself. But some parents are not getting it, and that causes and again, not at all a defense for what happened. But we got to figure out how to make things better. How to move forward from this. So when we see signs, we're not just sitting back like, damn, that's messed up. Because it is, but somebody needs to step up more. You got to be willing to, be a parent. Because where's the father? He's saying now that he's heartbroken or something. I don't know if I got the whole story about all of that. But you got to stay in your kids' lives. Mother, father, both are always very necessary. And when you leave that on one person, sometimes pressure bust you don't know what all going on in that household if you're not there. You gotta stay there. If that's your family, whether you doing whatever you doing after, stay there, stick it out, and see what's going on in these kids' households. See what men are in that house. Not to be all up in the mother business or even the women, because it's some people who will mistreat. Look, I'm saying it's some women out here that do crazy stuff when daddy ain't looking. And then they be feeling like, oh, she a mother too. She'll watch him. Yeah, okay. A lot of these women don't be liking your kids. And then they mistreat them, do little petty stuff to them. And then you be like, because I wish somebody would. Look, guess what? A lot of people feel like this child not going to say nothing. And maybe they don't know no better than know that they being mistreated. But the point of it is, stay in your kids' lives. These aunties, uncles, cousins, whoever you seeing something, say something. All this, we're going to keep our business in the family. We not everybody ain't finna be in our business. We not finna be all out here discussing. Look, somebody better stop talking up because all these kids getting killed, all this stuff going on in these streets. It's just ridiculous at this point.
And that's just what you kind of just need, like that close knit, like family chemistry. Where because I remember, like, even when, like, we were growing up, like, we would be at our cousin's house. And when their mother, they're our cousin. So, like when we used to be with Pee Wee and, with all of them, it was just, we would be with our family. And also, like, sometimes, and it's been said that sometimes some men don't feel like they have an obligation if they never wanted the child. Like if they said that what they were trying to get the girl to have an abortion. But like,
I'm gonna say this right now. Okay. First of all, when you encounter a situation with a woman, all right, and whether or not she has birth control or not, you have first choice, first option right there to decide if you want to have kids. Period. You have the first choice. And after that, it's no longer up to you. You know why? Because you're not the one that's carrying the child. Science says it's no longer up to you. Once you don't put that condom on, you decided it's all right if I have a kid.
Mm-hmm. Or it's okay if she makes the decision, because guess what? She's going to make the decision. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong for her to go with what you think or not.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying at that point, she's making the decision. Yeah. All right? So once you don't put that condom on, believe that part right there. Now, after that, who didn't have a choice? That child. Yeah. The kids just show up. Yeah. You do not have a right to say, well, she went ahead and I told her not to. I don't care. That's your kid. So if she does whatever she wants for that child, you all right with that? Because, well, what? Come on now. Let's just look. I don't like that. Yeah. That'll get me a little hot now. Talking about some you ain't great. Because kids just show up. Yeah. You and the mama did y'all thing, whatever. Maybe you should have, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe it was a mistake. It was a hit. Whatever. That don't even have nothing to do with nothing no more. Yeah. Kid here. Guess who didn't ask to show up? That kid. So now that's everybody's responsibility. Mm-hmm. And let's just keep it real too. When you in this household, and even we go down to grandmothers. Mm-hmm. Grandmothers
used to look out for the kids. Mm-hmm. Now I grew up in the 80s. There was a lot of people I knew, parents was on drugs and all of that, right? Mm-hmm. So look, grandmas was taking over
to make sure them kids was okay. Not every grandma want to be fancy, be fabulous. I'm too look. I got stuff to do. Mm-hmm. I ain't got time. And then what's going on? Kids out here doing whatever in the street. Like, it just wasn't as bad before. When grandma stopped being grandmas, mama stopped wanting to be like, I'm just tired.
Everybody want to be like, it's your fault, it's your fault. Look.
And then they just step up. Yeah. Quit the blaming and just step up and get to it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like,
this conversation. Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, you know, your family, when it's your family, like, it is your business.
Family is family.
Some things, you know, something it is your business. Like, you know, some families have like that one nasty uncle. And then you know, instead of, they say, well, you know, don't be around it's such and such because you know he don't wear that.
How about you don't be around?
Right.
How about you nasty? Right. Bring your ass over here. Let me tell you something.
Child.
Because what I don't play, is about naming one of my kids in here. Okay? So if you're nasty, you better stay away.
Yeah. They not about to stay away from you. Yeah. You better stay away. But you ain't gonna have to worry about staying away. Yeah. Coming over here. No.
But the thing is, it's like, you know, like it's always hush hush. Like nobody's pulling out uncle's coattail. It's hush hush. And it's just, I don't know. You kind of like, I don't know. You kind of can see, because you look at people like there's certain ways that you look at a child. And if I turn around and I look at somebody that's supposed to be their uncle gawking at my child, I'm gonna be like, what you looking at? And it's gonna be a problem. And it's not gonna be like we're gonna keep it quiet and we're not gonna say nothing like, right, right. And then
let me show you how I am.
Right.
All right. And what I am is not about to play about my child, and I'm not going to even let you think it's okay to play with mine. And men got to be appropriate too with kids. Like, you know what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do with kids.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It's a lot of games that child molesters and predators play.
Mm-hmm. They do little stuff in front of the parent to try to make the kid think it's okay.
Yeah.
So when they start taking it a step further, like, you got to check that. I don't like a lot of playing around with kids and doing too much. Like, don't do that. Mm-hmm. Oh, y'all look. This subject here, I cannot be neutral on. I can't play Switzerland. It makes me hot. It upsets me. I don't like to see all these kids losing their lives and all this. Oh, I'm gonna mind my business and all. And then when it happened, everybody got something to say.
Yeah. When it's too late.
When it's too late.
Yeah.
Like, shut the hell up.
Or after everything's happened and said and done, a child get a certain age. The child get a certain age. People be like, I knew it was something that wasn't right. I knew it was something. Everybody knew it was something. Why didn't you say anything? Why weren't you saying that? You know, I just told such man their business. Why? Because this person had been suffering this whole time. Like, you know what? You might have to fight. You might have to fight somebody. Because, you know, grown people, when they be in their household, they like to, you know, have things in their household. They don't want nobody coming in, another grown person coming in their household telling them how to run their household. But if you're not running your household accordingly, if you're not running your household the right way and children are being mistreated, you know what? The thing is, the difference between violence on grown people, whether it's a man or a woman, and children, is that, first of all, let me just say, neither one is right. But with an adult, you have that choice. Mm-hmm. You have that choice to say, you know what, I love this person, so I'm gonna stick it out. I know this person is under a lot of stress, and sometimes my mouth gets away, so I'm gonna stick it out. That child don't have that choice to say, I'm gonna stick it out,
and they don't have the means to defend themselves.
Right. So, if you are mistreating children, then somebody needs to come in and say something, and you will have to fight. Like I said, I love my sister, I love my siblings, I love my family. Like, it's been a few people on Facebook I didn't hear to get into about talking to my family a different kind of way. But as much as I love them, like when I talk about my kids, and when I say I don't play about my kids, I include my kids, my niece, my nephews, my great nephew, all of them are included in with my kids. Because if something is going on, if something's financially going on, then we coming together as a family to do something. If there's some type of abuse that's going on, okay, somebody might have too many kids. And one person might not be able to take care of all that person's children. But as a family, you need to come together and be like, okay, well, these two gonna come over here with me. These two gonna come over here. It might be a strain, yes.
People like to sit up and talk about you.
Yes, they want them to talk about you.
And what you need to do, how you should do it,
and what you shouldn't have done.
And start addressing your family. Start talking to them and not about them.
Right.
Some people, and that's another reason why a lot of people don't tell people when they're struggling.
Yeah.
With mental illness and other issues, and they got to stop. All this, like, I'm tired of seeing all these broken families, like cousins not knowing cousins anymore.
Yeah.
It's like siblings don't even know siblings anymore.
Right.
You know, because everybody just doing whatever, and you're not taking into consideration that this is your legacy. Mm-hmm. You understand? And now you're kind of just making it. I don't. This subject, I'm telling you, hit me. It makes me, it get me in my feels a little bit. It do. I don't like to see children mistreated. Mm-hmm. I'm protective of all children around me, period. I don't care if it's my neighbor's child. Mm-hmm. Because, I look out for children. That's just who I am personally. And all this now. And I feel like if I can look out for Shauna down the street damn child, I can show enough look out for my own families. Mm-hmm. And the whole concept or minds of all this pettiness and all that, we got to stop it, because it's so much going on in this world right now. And children don't have no defense but us to advocate for them. So we got to do more. You just do. Whew.
Well, that must, we need to do like a trigger warning.
Yes.
Do like a trigger warning.
Yeah, because this triggers me. I hate to see children mistreated some type of way. Yeah. I just do. It hits my spirit.
Well, like we said in the description, we got ish to say about everything. So, sometimes we gonna laugh, we gonna joke, and it's gonna be funny. But sometimes, like today, we gonna hit some hard truths. And this was some ish. Some bull-ish that we had to say something about, because we got to start protecting these babies. There's too many babies that are not getting a chance to grow up to their full potential. And we have to understand that is our next generation. Yes. And we are basically exterminating our own generation ourselves. This is just sad. Nobody should be losing their life at 3. Nobody should be losing their life at 7. Nobody should be losing their life at 12. It is sad. When you can't take your child to McDonald's, when your kids can't be asleep in their own bed, what's going on?
What's going on with the mental state of our people in general? Because it's nobody cares about death anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, every day I look up, it's some rest in peace shit going on the pages, and it's absolutely mind blowing and it's depressing.
Yeah.
And what's happening with these kids that are watching their friends, and and I think that kind of contributes to a lot of the violence that happens in the Chicagoland area, to be honest, because they see so much. It's like life just don't have a value anymore, and that's sad.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
Well, that's our conversation.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us tonight, and
Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe.
and make sure you hit that bell so that you get a notification every time we got Ish to Say. All right, good night.
Good night.